I'm trying out a new filming setup and I think I'm just gonna go for it because I don't have time or patience to really figure it all out. So if I look bad, don't watch the video. Now, if you looked at the title, you might be saying, Jules, you did a similar video to this, like, not that long ago, a few months ago. And yeah, I did. A few months ago, I admitted to you all that I have never finished a book series in my life. Never. Not as a child, not as a teenager, and not as an adult. In the video at the time, I was talking about some book series. I honestly haven't watched it back, so I don't remember what books I talked about. And that video was okay, but to be honest, I have changed my format a little bit, and I've got a lot of new subscribers, new followers since then. And I've been mentioning this whole I haven't finished a book series ever in my life thing in a couple recent videos, and you guys are like, huh? So I wanted to address it today. Also, addressing the new background. It's not a permanent change. This is actually the same room as my regular background. The black shelves are just right there. I also have these white shelves, and I don't know, it's comfy. I'm sitting on a futon instead of the floor. So I think I'll just be going back and forth between the two, you know? I can do whatever I want. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the top 6 book series that I'm never going to finish. What does top 6 mean? I don't know. Just the 6 biggest series that people keep telling me to finish, and I'm like, no. And there's nothing wrong with these books in particular. Some of these series people don't like the conclusion to, so I don't even feel like I have to finish them. But some people adore these series, and I adore these series. But I'm not gonna finish them. I've never done it, and I never will. The first series that I picked up off the floor, because these are not in any particular order, is the Winternight Trilogy. If you were to ask me my top 10 books of all time, to list them all, and yes, I could list them all, not for this video. Maybe I should make a video about that. Anyways, if you were to ask me one of my top 10 books of all time, I would say The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This book changed my brain chemistry. This was one of those ones that I was obsessed with right away. I very much enjoy Russian folklore, and whenever I see those things on Instagram that are like, who's your book boyfriend, who's your book husband, I always pick Morozko from this because he's the only book boy that I've ever had a crush on, I guess. And it's kind of because I want him to stab me through the heart with an icicle. Okay, anyways. Have I read the next 2? No, of course not. I just thought that the first book was so perfect that I didn't need to read more of the story. I think I have an inherent fear that when I love a first book in a series so much, the rest of it's going to be ruined, because that happens. And I don't want to know. But I do hear that these are good, but I don't think I'm ever going to read them. Next, we have an absolutely massive series that I think people are going to be pissed off that I'm not intending to finish, because again, I loved the first book. I gave this 5 stars, easy 5 stars, and it's the Greenbone Saga. I don't know why I held these up so weirdly. I read Jade City and I loved it. It was fantastic. It's one of the most unique worlds I've ever read. I just have such a hard time caring about what happens after the first books in any series. I know what happens in the first one, and it was awesome. It was super cool. I have no interest in continuing the series despite the fact that it was 5 stars for me. Also, quick side note, I just want to point out something kind of funny to me. I bought the first 2 secondhand, and they're very nice, very pristine. I ordered the 3rd one through Indigo, Canada's book chain that I work for, and look how beat up this is. What the heck? Get it together, Indigo. Anywho, I know you're mad. I know you're mad that I don't want to finish this series. Well, it's not that I don't want to, it's just that I have better things to do, you know? The reason that I don't finish book series is not because they're bad. It's not like I've never found a series that's good enough for me to finish. I've never finished a book series because I struggle to concentrate on anything. It's hard enough for me to just read books in general. I'm not one of those people that will read a book a day and blast through series super quickly. And reading the second book in a series or continuing a series that I've already read the first one in, it just doesn't feel like an accomplishment to me. It does not feel like progress. only starting new books and new series is progress. And it's something that I'm in my own head about, and it doesn't make sense, and it's so silly. But I also just find that I'm so done with characters after the first book. I don't need to read the rest of the series. Next is another big series, but I don't know if I even have to finish this because y'all didn't like the third book. Poppy War. It's the Poppy War. Actually, I have the first one signed because I met her at a work event a couple months ago, and that was really cool. She's amazing. She is so well spoken. She gave an excellent talk, and I did not tell her that I'm not planning on finishing her series. She wouldn't care, but I didn't tell her that when I met her. So I read the first book, and it was great. About 5 stars. All of these are 5-star first reads. Actually, yes. Every series that I've got here has a 5-star first book. Who wants to analyze that for me? Who wants to unpack that for me? I don't know. But I know people love the second one as well. And then I've heard that people just don't love the third one. And I don't really know why. I haven't dug into it too much because in my head, I think I might finish this series one day, but if I'm being honest, I won't. I read the first one and I'm content, I'm satisfied. I think I just love standalone books so much that I pretend every book I read is a standalone. And in my little fantasy world where that's true, I'm very happy. Book ends on a cliffhanger? That's fine. I don't care. I don't need to know. Why am I the weirdest reader ever? I feel very strange. I feel similarly to when I did my weird reading habits video, and I got a lot of support on that, and everyone was like, you're not that weird. You're weird, but you're not that weird. And I feel like this is similar, not as intense, but it's similar where I'm like, I'm expressing to you that I don't care about the story. I love the first book, and then I move on. Is that weird? Let me know. The next series I feel like I'm sinking down lower and lower in my seat. The next series that I want to talk about is one where I am breaking my own rule because technically this is not finished. It's the Locked Tomb Trilogy. And there is a 4th book, Electra the Ninth, coming out, but I'm including it anyway because it's such a slow-moving series, and it was originally advertised to us as a trilogy that I'm gonna count it anyway, and because even when Electo comes out, I still don't intend on finishing the series. Gideon was one of the first books I read when I was coming back into reading. I only picked up reading again about 2 years ago, and I read this, I read The Poppy War, read The Bear and the Nightingale, amongst a couple other things, and I gave this 5 stars, obviously, and it deserves it. Gideon is a fantastic book, but don't know. I know people struggle with Harrow, and then some people, it's like 50-50 whether they enjoyed Nona or not. So it's another one of those series that I'm like, I don't have a particular incentive to finish it. I know this series is my friend Ev's one of their favorites, and they're rereading it right now, I'm pretty sure. Harrow is one of my favorite characters. I don't know, I'm holding up this one because this is Nona. Harrow is one of my favorite characters in Gideon. Like, I identified so hard with Harrow. I love her so much. So why don't I read a book from her perspective? What's wrong with me? But after this comes a series that I think I'm gonna finish. There's 2 left on the list. The next one I actively am planning on finishing. And it is the Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell. This is not a series I ever thought I would read. These books belong to my grandfather. I have them now. And I joined a read-along for this series hosted by Ty on Instagram. And I was like, yeah, I like Arthurian things. I'm interested in King Arthur. I know this is a King Arthur series, but it's historical fiction, so I don't know if I'm gonna love it. Guess what? I loved it. The first book, I gave it how many stars? 5 stars. I gave the second book 4.75 stars. Yes, I read the second book. You see how close I am to finishing a freaking series? I only have the 3rd one left. I only have this much left. This much. And then I will have finished my first series ever. So why am I not reading it? Why am I not just doing this? Well, one, because I am pretty burnt out right now with reading, I'm not gonna lie. I've set myself up for a lot of obligation. I'm reading a lot of books for people that have asked me, have sent me books to read, or have asked me to read in an editing capacity. And I'm reading books for Readsy Discovery. I'm reading books to review on SFFI. I'm interviewing R.R. Verdi on my channel later in the summer, in July 30th. The tour was just announced. So I'm still reading the first book in the series, and I have the arc of the new one that's coming out. So like, I've got a lot going on. And it's really hard to prioritize finishing a series when I'm always setting myself up to start new things and making promises to people. And yeah, I won't lie, I'm a little burnt out. I'm trying to clear my plate a little bit on reading obligations. I'm hopefully going to just like finish up what I'm reading right now and give myself more time to read for fun again. I miss that. And when that time comes, I do actually intend on reading Excalibur and finishing the Warlord Chronicles and finally being able to say I have finished one book series in my life. The last series, there's a lot of them. The last series that I want to talk about is kind of a crazy one for me that I haven't finished it, because I talk about this series a lot as like a formative series in my reading journey because it's books from my childhood. And I don't know, I think I've implied that I've finished it and I do know how it ends, but I haven't. And it is his Dark Materials, the Golden Compass series. And the reason I have so many of them is like I collect editions. I collect editions of a series I haven't finished. Hold on. I've got many. I also have all the companion books downstairs, which I haven't read. I've read some of them. I've read the shorter ones. I read the first two as a child and most of the third one, but never finished it. And I actually didn't read these by myself. My dad read these to me. I was old enough to read, but it was something we were doing together. So he read these to me and it was amazing. It's something that we really bonded over. I don't remember why we didn't finish the Amber Spyglass. I think, unfortunately, it's the same reason I didn't really finish a lot of series when I was a kid, is that I just aged out of them. This one's a kind of weird example because it's only 3 books, but a better example would be like the Warriors books, which are behind me up there, or the Magic Tree House books. Like I never finished those because they're still being written. The Warriors books are still coming out and I'm almost 30 years old. This is a series I would definitely go back to, and finish. But there are a ton of series from my childhood that I'm not gonna go back and finish because I'm too old. Not saying you can't read the Warriors books or the Magic Tree House books as an adult. You absolutely can. I'm just not personally going to. So those were the top 6 book series that I'm never gonna finish. 2 of those are a lie. I am gonna finish the Warlord Chronicles, and I don't know, holding this in my hand, I think I might do a Golden Compass reread, maybe around Christmas, because that just feels like a fun thing to do at Christmas. I might do that. Maybe I'll host it and you can join me. Would you like that? I'm not gonna ask you which of these I should finish in the comments because I don't intend on finishing them. Even if you comment 50,000 times that I should finish the Poppy War or I should finish Greenbone Saga, I don't know. I am a grown-up and I can make my own decisions, and I'm deciding that I'm not finishing the series, probably, most likely 99% not finishing them. Don't forget, because this is uploading on Thursday, tomorrow, Friday morning, 8 a.m., Ev and I are hosting writing sprints or productivity sprints on my channel. We're gonna be going live for an hour and a half, so 8 a.m. EST to 9:30 a.m. EST. Yes, that's very early, but that's when we are most productive, and these sprints are fun and for us. And if you happen to be awake or you want to get something done, or if you're in a different time zone where it's not as absurdly early, come join us on the channel. It'll be super fun. And you can learn more about what I'm working on in my writing projects and what Ev is working on in their writing projects. And I want to learn about your writing projects. But anyways, before I go, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell icon so I know. Anyways, before I go, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell icon so you know when I upload new videos. I upload 2 days a week. I love you guys. Goodbye.